Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we talk with friends and family of the woman who was killed in a deadly crash earlier this week.
And we go to Pike County, where members of the community are doing whatever they can to help the family of a child that was diagnosed with a brain tumor last month.
Plus, we share a story in Letcher County that has made national headlines after a controversial decision to paint over a Bible verse in a school locker room.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:34. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Lacey Roberts.
Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning on this Thursday, March the 5th. Lacey, a beautiful day yesterday.
It was beautiful, and I'm hoping that carries on into today and into the weekend, because that would be great.
Yes, it would be great. Let's bring Brandon in this morning, get a breakdown of what we can expect on Friday Eve. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning to both of you, and we're going to keep the temperatures around today, the mild temperatures, but we're going to be back and forth with cloud cover. Unfortunately, tomorrow, a little colder, and maybe some of the things that Will likes, some of that S word there that Will likes, just a little bit, not a whole lot. Let's take a look, see what's going on this morning across the region. We're looking at UVA-wise, the time lapse over the last few hours, and not a whole lot of action there. A few more clouds drifting in there. It's 39 in Wise this morning, Jonesville too, 34 in Monticello. Most of us, though, in the upper 30s and low 40s across the region. Warm spot is Harlan at 44. So a normal day on the coffee meter, not too bad this morning. Day planner takes us into the 60s later this afternoon. But it's going to be a mix of sun and clouds. Some of you will see sunshine this morning. Some of you won't. Some of you see sunshine later. Some of you won't. So again, it's just one of those situations where those clouds from that system to our south are being thrown at us, and they will be ebbing and flowing at times today. The rest of the forecast is on the way here in just a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. We first told you about a crash in Breathitt County along Kentucky 15. Now, we know that wreck claimed the life of 34-year-old Shonda Moore. She grew up in the city of Jackson and would have turned 35 this June. Shonda was the mother of three, a wife, daughter, and friend. Family members planned her funeral. They say she was a caring person who loved everyone.
She wanted to take her daughter prom dress shopping. She was just talking about that this week. And because she didn't get to go to prom. So she wanted to make sure that Allie got a dress and Allie got to go to prom.
Visitation for Shonda is tonight at 5 p.m. and the funeral is tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Deaton Funeral Home in Jackson.
And when Pike County Head Start student Cooper Coleman was diagnosed with a brain tumor last month, his family and loved ones say that it was a shock.
Yeah, as Cooper continues to fight for his health, several fundraisers are popping up to help his family.
And WYMT's Buddy Forbes talked with fundraiser organizers who say everyone feels helpless and they just had to do something.
Just a normal 5-year-old boy with friends who live in a world of superheroes and fantasy.
Grant comes home and they talk about things that they've done, places that they have imagined that they're going to on the playground. And so when I heard Cooper was sick, it really hit home because he comes home with us.
But what do you do when the fantasy crumbles and reality sets in?
When's Cooper coming back? Is Cooper still in the hospital? And even my son, he's asking, these hard questions and we can't answer.
Cooper Coleman was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer after having a tumor removed from his brain last month. He is in Cincinnati for treatment, but he is not fighting alone. His Super Cooper troopers are with him.
I know that God is at the front of this battle for Cooper.
Which is why Millard School Beta Club and Fellowship of Christian Athletes worked together to create a shirt representing two of Cooper's favorite heroes, the Ninja Turtles and Jesus.
I can remember at times seeing Cooper raise his little hand and praise Jesus just with everybody else.
Cooper's church family also created a superhero-themed shirt, raising money as they plan a prayer rally in his honor.
It ripped our hearts out, all of us. We're broken. And we are, but we're just trying to focus on, our God is bigger than any diagnosis.
They hope to have a large community outpouring as they fill the Pikeville Park with prayer and worship.
We just want them to know that they're not alone and we're going to do everything we can for them.
Praying hard enough for his family to feel it by his bedside. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
T-shirts can be ordered from Pikeville Free Will Baptist Church and Millard School. The prayer rally is on the books for April 10th. Organizers say they are still looking for singing groups and other volunteers.
A story in Letcher County is making national headlines. In November, an atheist group, the Freedom From Religion Foundation, sent Letcher County schools a letter claiming this message above their athletic lockers violated the Constitution. Superintendent Denise Yance immediately consulted with the school board attorney for advice. They decided to take the sign down as it was not a student-generated display, which goes against school laws.
Our goal is to respect the law so that we can protect all of our students' religious freedoms. By doing that, it allows them to express their religious rights, and that's what we want. We want what's best for our students in Letcher County.
Yance said she has not received parent complaints, but she has been sent nasty messages from people across the nation. WYMT's Emily Bennett has been following this story, and we'll have much more on this coming up in our 6 o'clock hour right here on Mountain News this morning.
And a bill to ban tobacco use or vaping for young people made it another step in the General Assembly yesterday. Senate Bill 56 would prohibit the sale of tobacco or vaping devices to anyone under the age of 21. Now, it has language that brings Kentucky law in line with new federal statutes. Health advocates say it addresses a growing problem of young people vaping or using tobacco products.
We know that electronic cigarette use among Kentucky youth has reached epidemic proportions. More than 1 in 4 high school students answers yes to the question, have you used an e-cigarette in the last 30 days?
The bill includes fines of $50 to $500 for those who violate the age restrictions for e-cigarettes or tobacco products. It passed a House committee 14-3 and now goes to the full House.
Yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear revealed the impact of an executive order signed back in December. The order was signed with the purpose of restoring rights such as voting rights for people convicted of nonviolent crimes. Beshear said the number of people thought to have restored voting rights was 140,000. That number is actually 152,000. Kentucky NAACP President Raul Cunningham says people should be welcomed back into their communities and be urged to participate in the democratic process.
But I think more importantly, now that the day has arrived, those of us who are advocates have got to go and seek out and help those who are eligible under this program.
Governor Beshear also announced a new website. You can head over to our website at WYMT.com if you need to see if you are eligible to vote.
And a third person in Kentucky is being tested for the coronavirus. That information came from Governor Andy Beshear at the Capitol yesterday. He adds this is just a precaution. Multiple governors are currently writing Congress to ask for appropriations to handle the potential outbreak. But he says we don't need to be worried about the coronavirus right now. We have a much bigger threat on our hands.
And again, remind folks that while we want you to be prepared for the coronavirus, the flu is still significantly more deadly. We have over 80 flu deaths this year already in Kentucky. We have 4 pediatric deaths. We've lost 4 kids to flu.
Governor Beshear reiterated what health officials say. Everyone needs to wash their hands. And if you are sick, please stay home from work. And if your kids are sick, do not send them to school.
Well, many Kentuckians are wondering if they should avoid public places due to the coronavirus. That includes concerts, sporting events, or traveling.
But with no cases in Kentucky, state leaders have not yet canceled any large events. Olivia Russell explains that the KHSAA and Keeneland will closely be monitoring for the virus.
Keeneland employees are hard at work preparing for the spring meet, but President and CEO Bill Thomason is preparing for something else. The coronavirus.
It's the topic of conversation around the country where we should all be concerned.
He's not the only one coming up with a plan. KHSAA Commissioner Julian Tackett is hoping to keep fans healthy at the upcoming Sweet 16 tournament.
I don't think there's anything off the table, but it would have to get a much different situation than we have right now.
With no confirmed cases of coronavirus in Kentucky right now, Keeneland and KHSAA say they have no plans to change the events or limit crowds, but it's something they're keeping their eyes on. City leaders say organizers of these big events will ultimately make the decision on how or if they'll move forward, but they have been meeting with them to make sure everyone's on the same page.
You can be proactive by simply observing, and we are certainly paying attention to everything the CDC puts out, the Commissioner of Health puts out, the local Commissioner of Health.
And as they sit back and observe, time will tell if change is needed.
In that 4 weeks, we're going to learn a whole lot more. People are going to learn a lot more about the protections that they need to take. And then we're continually evolving our plans as we get up to that date.
Plans that could come if the coronavirus comes too. Olivia Russell, WYMT Mountain News.
Other concerts and events are scheduled at Rupp Arena. The Lexington Center president says any changes for those events will be up to the presenters.
Well, just ahead on Mountain News this morning, some spoilers for fans of the show Survivor as we give you the latest on one Eastern Kentuckian's progress on the show's latest season.
The forecast will be back and forth for the next couple of days, but keep your eye on the prize, the weekend. I'll have all the details in about 3 minutes.